Today we're going to be going over the second installment of the book Clone Wars, Stories of the Light and the Dark. This is a set of stories that I plan on covering, and it goes over short stories in the Clone Wars, just from a different point of view. Now, it goes over 12 of our favorite stories and just adds new details, different points of view to each of them. And today we're going to be going over the episode Dooku Captured. This is where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Dooku are all captured by the same pirate gang, led by Hondo Ohnaka. And this, of course, results in them having to work together to escape, and it gives us, in this one, Dooku's direct point of view, as he is the one telling the story, as he's doing a recording to Palpatine to tell him what happens. So this is really interesting. It gives us Dooku's direct view of Anakin Skywalker and the Jedi Council, the Republic, and shows us more of why he hates them. You can sense the malice in his voice, and it's just really, really awesome. The first thing I want to bring up today is just his hatred for the stupidity of the Jedi, in his opinion, or more so the arrogance and stupidity of Anakin Skywalker. Once again, I do have clips here put together, and if you want to watch the first one, it was the first episode of the Clone Wars, Yoda ambush, where he has to fight the droid armies, but this one focuses a lot on Anakin's arrogance and what Dooku thinks of it, and at the end, it even has Dooku going into why he thinks Anakin would make a good ally for them. But first, here are some clips I want to show you on Dooku talking about Anakin's arrogance, his stupidity, and his hatred for how the Jedi Order has fallen to allowing this to be their top Jedi. So take a listen right now, and I'll be back with you in just a second.
However, one of my B-2 super battle droids was able to disarm the boy by shooting his weapon out of his hand. Unarmed and outnumbered, even that brash young fool saw the wisdom in a prompt surrender. I did not give them the satisfaction of a reply or even standing up, so little I thought of their foolish pomposity. I stretched out with my senses and began to rotate the plate. Naturally, young Skywalker could not resist the opportunity to show off his stupidity. "Don't you think our priority should be escape first, eat second?" he said. Unbelievable how the Jedi Order had declined in my absence. In my day, I trained Rael Averross and Qui-Gon Jinn. Now they saddled Kenobi with this fool. We continued. But the young Jedi could not let the chance for one of his imbecilic jokes pass by. "You should be more patient, Master," said Skywalker. "After all, the Count is an elderly gentleman and doesn't move like he used to." Their facile humor was nearly more than I could bear. "I would kill you both right now," I said, "if I did not have to drag your bodies."
I love things like this, the different point of view, because in the episode, we didn't get a direct view from Dooku. We got a third person's view on all of Anakin, Obi-Wan, Dooku, all the characters. But this is directly from Count Dooku, his thoughts. Now, this next part, it goes into detail, or at least it shows what Dooku thinks about the Republic, about the Jedi Council, about Anakin in his quest for power. So, I'm sorry that this jumps around a lot. There's a whole story here, but I'm just going to the most intriguing parts where Dooku talks about the Republic and the things he hates, and it gives us just a new perspective on his thoughts, which I really do enjoy, because Dooku is one of the most interesting characters in Star Wars, a fallen Jedi who leads the opposing side of the Separatists in the Clone Wars, trained, of course, by Master Yoda, and then he trained Qui-Gon Jinn. He is a very influential character in Star Wars. He even, sorry to keep you from the clips for a second longer, but in the episode, he even mentions that Anakin, he can see a bit of himself in Anakin, because he trained Qui-Gon Jinn, who then trained Obi-Wan, who's now training Anakin. Of course, he says he sees a bit of him, but he also sees a ton of arrogance and stupidity that wouldn't have happened if he was around and training. But yeah, let's get into what Dooku thinks of the Council, the Republic, and how corrupt it is right now.
There I waited for the arrival of the Jedi. I wondered who they would send. I recalled my time on the Jedi Council before the corruption of the Republic led me back to my homeworld, Sereno. I stretched out my mind once again. Drawing upon the power of my anger and hatred of the hypocritical Jedi and their corrupt Republic, I collapsed the cave entrance.
Now, this last clip is Dooku talking to Palpatine about what he learned about Anakin. Now, this is a recording he's making. Palpatine is not actually receiving this, like, live streamed. And at the end, Dooku kind of sees what he's doing, what he's talking about, sees how it makes him look bad, and how it makes Anakin look good. And Dooku decides to delete the entire recording. No recollection of the events going to Palpatine. But still, it gives us an inside look at what Dooku felt within Anakin as they were trying to escape together, working together, and enemies just very close to each other. And it's really interesting. He feels what Palpatine eventually capitalizes on. Just the arrogance, the hatred, the evil within, and it's super interesting to look at as well, so here you go.
But his former apprentice is different. He was frequently impatient, rash, hot-tempered, qualities that could prove his undoing. But he also showed a most un-Jedi-like willingness to sacrifice me on several occasions. It was at these times that I sensed a hint of anger inside young Skywalker. An anger that, if properly stoked, could be used for our benefit.